Shit
ODing on Zemo over here.
Put some Jolly Ranchers in that bitch.
Coming to life here, twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. Better kill the music in the background before we get flagged by some goddamn algorithm for some bullshit in the end of days here. But you never know, because sometimes where I'm slow, sometimes where I'm quick. We're sweeter and thicker than a Chico stick. Here's an ice cream cone, honey, take a lick. Stevie, is he eating bad food over there? Is he eating cookies and ice cream? What's he doing? He's working out triple time?
Wow. Wait, it's a fucking Australian.
Jesus, what is going on? Am I looking in the mirror at a body double?
Wow. I go into Twitch and what happens? I get attacked by fucking Aussie.
That's it.
Chameleons.
Ozzy
Lord.
In the house tonight. We're checking in around the globe, you guys, with Hameen Loyalist here. Twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. Yalla. Ha ha ha. Yeah, man, we are here live and direct and from all points of the globe tonight. It's checking in early. He did the run in. He's like, fuck it, I'll curtain jerk. It's Brent Logan from Down Under, man. You guys might have seen him recently on Tinder or Bumble, and then he pulled his profile again. And you know, he's hot off of whatever sexual dating sites. And
I heard he likes Growler,
whatever they do down there, man. But we're glad the wildfires didn't get him. Wildfire or Tommy Rich.
Wait, Tommy Rich was in Australia?
He was there, man. And
fuck this guy.
And live from Tennessee. Lord, I really been real faith, down and out, losing faith. It's Theory Girl. It's Lisa Torch, as beautiful as ever. Can you hear us, Theory Girl? No, I don't think so. We can see her.
Be a no.
Yeah,
seriously.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, how do we have her on, but we could see fucking Logan's mug?
Yeah, at least we get something decent to look at tonight, aside from the two big bearded bastards.
Thanks, Sal.
Fuck, I have to look at this cunt all fucking night.
Hey, Elise, can you hear us?
Now I can.
Excellent,
gotcha.
Excellent.
There we go.
So
Hi.
it's Hameen loyalists, media loyalists. We appreciate you guys jumping in, joining us here tonight. And already the chat room's filling up. But yeah, if you guys don't know, Theory Girl, one of our favorite and early guests and supporters, and obviously Brent Logan from, or what appears to be Brent Logan and could be a CGI remake if there is no Australia. And this whole thing is nothing more than a Matrix plug-in update into Google. But Brent Logan's here with us too, Conspiracy Horseman. Guys, glad to have you on.
Thanks, man. Thanks very much.
That's it.
Fucking mic sounds better than mine. Jesus Christ, man. I'm tired of this shit. I got $1,000 worth of stuff here. I give up.
My headset probably cost me $25. I bought it about 4 years ago.
Wait, is that $25 Australian?
Yes, so that'll be about
that's like 37 cents US.
Yeah.
That's right, you fucking cunts. I bought my fucking headset for 45 cents American. I've got it from eBay.
I did actually buy it on eBay, so well done, mate.
Around the horn, you know him, you love him. We're waiting for the next episode of Big Breaking Sal. It's Big Sal Allah. How you doing tonight, buddy? Good to be.
What's going on, man? I'm glad to see the guest on. Guys, thank you for coming. Despite the restraining orders, Lisa, thank you for coming on while Brent's on.
Yeah, I mean, we're all practicing social distancing. Everyone's practicing it from Brent. It's far farther than 6 feet away.
I want to congratulate Brent for actually social distancing for the past 25 years.
Yeah, he's been
good for you, buddy. Excellent.
Thanks, mate. Thank you very much.
In GGP, bucking for that AEW empty arena gig tonight. You gonna bounce out of here early, make it over there, or what, man? I heard they got darks or whatever, open spots for anybody who can make it.
Whoa.
Are you kidding me?
Those words.
No, I just saying you had the Bullet Club hat on. The Bullet Club hat.
Did you see that face?
Yeah, he was ready. He was ready.
Get a screen cap for that. Are you guys serious? Are you fucking kidding me?
Hold on.
Wow.
I'll get George. He'll take my spot.
Holy shit.
Strong. Tremendous. The bookie monster is here, you guys.
That's right. I need more belts in my collection.
Well, yeah, we need to melt them down to make armor for our end of days collection. As I just got the memory pop up of 2 years ago winning the championship, but that would have been the second time we won it, not the first time. So,
maybe a second time. We never lost them.
Didn't we drop them like real quick and got them right back? Like we dropped them one show and then they got them back from Gritty Kitty.
Never. We never put over Gritty Kitty.
Not a lick.
Somebody, mind?
We put over.
What mental effect are you on, son? Think I would actually put over Gritty Kitty? No way.
We dropped them to somebody and got them right back.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
We won them and we never lost them.
Didn't Grimace Elton John strip you and then you got him back?
No.
Okay.
You sure?
I don't know.
We won them. I think we defended him once in the 6-man with Stevie.
I got a lot of CTE and
I know.
And then he folded.
Sal,
he went down south.
Yeah. Down where? Down there.
Down where? Down here.
Yeah. I definitely didn't put over Gritty Kitty at all. That was
No, dude. Sorry.
And a guy who's surrounded by Gritty Kitties all the time. Big Stevie, cool. How you doing? All right with the Mike Envy tonight, man? You gonna make it through?
I'm good. All I remember about those shows is how much I got paid. So I don't remember title changes or anything like that. I just remember the path of you booked Meanie and Nova first, and then the week before we'll talk money.
Nice.
Takes a lot to get me to put the half shirt and Daisy Dukes on. More than ever.
How about a free cat?
Cats are worth a lot of money. You know what? You got me there.
Hey,
but I'm not the only one with multiple cats in the household. Lisa as well as Taylor and Keanu.
Yep.
Well, listen. Now the I guess flavor of the week is this new Netflix show, Tiger Master, who's a former wrestler who tamed tigers and killed somebody. You could be the cat master. Start your own reality.
Tiger King.
You're actually the other side because you're not going to kill anybody. You're too nice to do that, and you're too civilized. But I think it'll be over. You with a bunch of cats on Netflix. No, I'm not even joking.
That's a hot button thing.
You're joking. I got a Glock 19 like 2 feet from me.
Look at this guy. Look at this motherfucker.
Have you learned how to shoot it yet? It's not easy, by the way.
Oh.
You need to
she's saying don't break your wrist. Don't break your wrist, Mary.
Not the name drop.
The Glock, right? That's fucked up.
Well, not the name drop. I used to shoot guns with the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee. So.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yo, Brent, do you guys have guns?
He's a friend of mine. I don't know if you knew that.
What was that? Sorry, JJP?
I said, do you guys have guns down in Australia? I know you guys are a bunch of cunts, but do you guys have guns?
Yeah, we are a bunch of cunts. No, I've never actually seen a Glock before. Like, I wouldn't even know where to buy a gun in Australia.
Oh wow!
So
because you didn't talk to Uncle Ivan. Uncle Ivan would have hooked you up with a gun.
He would have. Like when I was a kid, when I lived out in the country, like we only had like rifles for shooting animals. Let me pause
you for a second there, Brent. So just so you guys know, rifles are not guns. So every fucking cunt in Australia has a rifle. Nobody has guns.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have semi-automatics here. That's for
you have an AR-14.
No.
No AR-14.
But you do have rifles. You do have like 30-30s and 30-06.
Yeah, we got 30-30s.
Right. Rifles are not guns.
So.
Obviously, Sal's busting balls.
They give all their fucking kids rifles. No guns. Guns are dangerous. Rifles, you need them.
But everybody thinks, guns are one thing or the other, I guess. But that's the G.I. Joe image of an AR-15. I guarantee you, if you get shot at 100 yards with an AR-15 or a 30-30, you're not going to brush one off and not the other.
What if it's range ammo?
Range ammo might just fall right out, especially if you got your indie title belt armor on. I don't think it's impenetrable.
Cobra troops are shooting. I think chances are they won't hit you anyway.
That's true. But yeah, man, we wanted to check in and see, what the madness is. We were off camera getting set up when Brent jumped the gun and came in early. And
Unlike Sasquatch, he didn't forget his spot.
Mate, I didn't want to be late. I'm not a late person.
You were fucked either way. It didn't matter.
I said, just be ready anytime after 7. He goes, What time is it? There's a time difference. I'm like, yeah, I know, Rocco. We're going to get you in sometime after 7. He's like, all right. We pop up, and all of a sudden, like 30 seconds later, I say,
good day, mate. How you doing?
I see this fucking vagina with teeth, and he's like, I'm going on. I didn't want to be late. I'm here, everyone.
Great. But what was the video that you had you posted and it got pulled right away, man?
Yeah, so it got sent to me by a friend of mine, and really what it was literally a video of a guy showing what he got sent, but he was showing it from his phone and recording it from another phone.
Right.
So he said he got these videos from a friend of his who's on 4chan, and it showed that every single time he tried sending these videos on Facebook Messenger, it'd come up with error loading. And it didn't matter what video it was. And so like it literally shows things in China, what you're not actually seeing. And when I got it, I downloaded onto my phone. And I wanted, I put it on YouTube as like a private link, just so, I didn't want to put it public as of yet. And every single time I tried to post it, it would come up with link broken. So I tried to upload it 3 or 4 different times. Same thing happened. And then when I put it public, it was literally public for probably, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. And it got one comment on it. And then all of a sudden it was gone. YouTube had taken it down.
Did you do any keywords or anything like that would have helped them to flag it?
In the keywords, I think I only put truth. I think as a as like a hashtag. I think that was probably all I did was put hashtag truth.
Get that the fuck out of here.
And then they took it down for inappropriate content or something like that.
And have you ever had anything flagged or banned before?
No, because I never, I just got my YouTube just for music and stuff like that, and then I never upload anything on it. That was literally the first thing I'd ever uploaded.
Yeah,
he popped his cherry.
That happened to me too, Brian. That happened to me. If people saw my Instagram video, all I was talking about was how the fitness brands need to come together. Everybody needs to help each other. There's people out there, and it's great to see people building home and garage. It was positive, but I said coronavirus in the video.
Wow.
The weird part is they shut me down, and they have shadow banned me before for putting up Conspiracy Horsemen videos or other things. The second I removed that video, I've gotten more subscribers than ever. My AdSense has gone up. It's almost like, good little boy, you're behaving. Now we're gonna pay you for behaving.
Here's
it was
your cookie.
Really
wow,
because I gained like maybe 2,000 subscribers since I took that video down.
Wow.
Well, just a quick aside.
Stayed in my lane, Sal.
Yeah, you are, and I'm very proud of you. But they don't know that you don't eat cookies. So giving you a cookie is not going to stop you this time. Commercials and locally in PA, I assume they're probably national spots, but they keep saying nobody mentions coronavirus at all. Not once. Everybody says respiratory diseases. Nobody says coronavirus.
That's local.
And I've noticed it. I've noticed it of all the commercials that even the stuff that the jerk off DJs do around here from 99 The Hawk, who's like right across town. Everything is respiratory viruses. Nothing is labeled as corona.
Wow, it's weird because here we're getting all corona. Even Sling is putting up coronavirus PSAs on YouTube ads. It's the COVID-19. It's all that stuff. Lisa, you're in Nashville. Are they doing stuff like that? Or are they kind of suppressing the word?
No, they're saying coronavirus all the time. Yeah, they're not suppressing it at all. Everything's corona or Chinese virus.
Yeah. One of the wives just got back from grocery shopping, and they even in the store had signs up, stay 6 feet away from everybody else if you can for social distancing, just to like drive it home everywhere, and that's going to be, as you look up the chain of the corporate culture, who is it that's putting that message out there and why? And why are they changing the language to double speak the 1984 to always keep it changing so no one can ever really debate? And now it's a new terminology that they have to. I mean, we've seen that with carbon tax, global warming, whatever else they want, climate change. I mean, how many times has that argument been shifted into a new realm after they lost, ground in whatever argument? They just shift the name and rebrand again.
Let me ask you this quick question. We have 6 people on here right now on the Conspiracy Horsemen. How long till they start limiting these kinds of gatherings for the health of the internet?
Yeah.
Well, first they came from. I'm sorry.
No, well, you talked about it you talked about it before this week, and we've brought it up where they've even proposed licensing for podcasters. And then once you get your license, now you fall under some jurisdiction of somebody who can censor or say what goes or what doesn't go, as opposed to the open airwaves.
Brother, I'm not getting no fucking license, brother. Ain't gonna come down on me because people watch my podcast and then they don't, and there was no one to stop them.
Oh shit!
Tremendous.
Are people really freaking out after the Tom Hanks drop down there in Australia, man? Was that like big news, or was that just like an Americanized thing to send us into shockwaves?
It was probably more of an Americanized thing. Like probably the last, I would say, week or so, like it is starting to get bigger in Australia. We've just recently been put on level 2 lockdown. So it probably won't be long until we're probably
level 2. What's
level
2?
Level 2.
1 and 2.
So they've closed down like all the gyms, all non-essential businesses. They're in the process of closing schools down. A lot of the kids aren't going to school anyway. Even with my work,
it's Australia, they weren't going anyhow. So to be fair,
they want to go swimming, and and like they've even on working from home as well. And
how does the sperm collector work from home?
Yeah,
how does that work?
I was going to say,
just mail that shit in, mate. Like it's all about. We've got our
Hold on. I thought you got fired for drinking on the job. What happened?
There we are, baby.
Don't get high. Don't get high on your own supply, you guys. That's
Wait a minute. So you're on level 2 lockdown. So that just proves the conspiracy theory that Australia really is a giant prison because you guys are on level 2 lockdown.
Yeah. And yesterday they closed down. They've been closing down all the state borders this week as well. They've literally closed down like any international travel.
So you're about pretty much the same level of lockdown that America is now, maybe with a little less fear porn injected all of the time.
Yeah. Well, because I can still go down to the supermarket and there's like way more than 2 people in there.
Yeah.
So like that's all still there. The only food places that are still open is for takeaway only. So I took advantage of that and had a nice burger last night, so that was good.
Did you order Chinese food or no?
No, I didn't order Chinese food.
Why do they call Chinese food Chinese food? Because it comes from China?
Well,
that's racist.
I'm asking for a friend. That's it.
Well, here's the thing. I'm surprised that we have not so Australia, look at that. They're calling it level 2 lockdown. I'm surprised we haven't gone to the like code orange down like they did with Terrorist Watch.
They don't want to offend the kangaroos.
You can catch this guy's stand-up Netflix stand-up coming out next week Saturday.
GGPP your pants.
Yeah.
Watch.
GGPP.
I was gonna ask Lisa, since she's in Nashville and they just had the tornado, and the reason why, for people to think, I don't know whatever nefarious reasons they're doing the lockdown, the social distancing, or trying to get people off the streets, but on the narrative point, they're trying to do that to keep the medical system, the hospitals, the doctors from being overloaded even more than they already are. With the tornado that hit, what was it, about 10, 14 days ago?
It was on March 3rd, the early morning of March 3rd. And I mean, we were still reeling from that. And we went from, like, I work for a California bank that's owned by a Canadian bank. The first communications we were getting were everyone's expected to come into work unless you are, if you're unwell, of course, don't come in. If you have small children that don't have any other care, come in. And you're expected to be on all your conference calls and blah, blah, blah. 2 days later, it was like, everybody go home. Work from home. Nobody come in unless you're absolutely essential. One person's going in to like scan mail in LA. The branches are staying open limited hours, but we are all working from home and we don't know when we're going to go back at this point. So, and that was 2 days apart. So
Well, my question is, with the infrastructure and all the systems being strained already from the tornado, and people being displaced and not having, and people having to live in shelters, probably, basically large gatherings. How's that supposed to be handled?
We don't, we're just doing the best we can. I mean, I really.
I'm not grilling you on it. I know you're not the mayor of Nashville.
Come on, figure it out, Lisa. Let's go.
Figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out.
Have you had any heard any talk or chatter of getting rid of cash because of that in the banking system? I imagine that's where they'd want to start that, to get rid of being able to pass it into the cashless society. We saw it proposed that this will be a digital debt wallet that the payout will be, and it's backed by the Fed, so there's nothing really backing it. And this is really the first stab where they've had a chance to undercut digital currency and Bitcoin. That's what it seems like their Trojan horse is here, to do that. So it'll be 4 select things and then backed by nothing, just as a quick bailout to get things back on track. But have you heard any chatter of that, of getting rid of cash totally?
Nothing officially.
Okay.
It's sort of like it's in the background. People are talking about it for sure.
Yeah.
It's just nothing official. And what's really strange about that, because of the tornadoes, people had to get cash out, and people were taking out cash by the thousands of dollars because you couldn't. Gas pumps weren't working.
Right.
Nobody had power. So if you were going into a store that was open, you had to have cash. So it's kind of funny how 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, we're now talking.
Well, it's it's a strange dichotomy, because in a time of true peril, which is some natural disaster that can knock out our technology, well, there goes the reliance on technology, chips, and cards for all my credits. And in a time of the boogeyman, invisible man virus scare, there could be anything microscopic on my money. Don't use that. You're terrified to do either. You're pinned to some system or another. And it seems if we go digital and there is no cash, wow, isn't that a true doomsday scenario, nightmare scenario?
It is. And then they have control over absolutely all of us.
Yeah, then we're rationing. We're just waiting for our ration of gasoline or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's very frightening. And I think, the prevailing sentiment around Nashville anyway, especially right after the tornado, was, what aren't they telling us about this virus? Everybody I talked to said the same thing. What aren't they telling us? Because everybody's stressed out. Their immune systems are already down from the stress of the tornado. Yep. Everybody's displaced. They're out of their routine. It's a lot of different people are at their most unhealthy. That's why I asked. After a natural disaster, you're going to be really susceptible to that kind of thing. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are just, inventing symptoms at this point because they're just paranoid and scared, and every little sniffle or,
every little sore throat has been a panic in the office. I go in, I'm considered essential because I work for a cable telecom company. And again, it's every little sniffle. People, oh my, cleared your throat. Oh shit. And people are freaking out. And here's the thing, just a little extra. As of 2 weeks ago, I just started this job. This is a brand new job working for this company. And we're in training. We are supposed to be 7 weeks in training before we can get on the phones and start taking calls, et cetera, et cetera. Somebody in our class brought up, hey, are we going to be sent home since we're just training? Are we going to be sent home since we're not essential? The following Monday, we were brought into the phones live, and we were made essential employees, so we have to come in. Just for some thought.
I would use that in the next time that you got to go for a raise.
Look at fucking Bain Hameen.
Next time you go, next time you go for a raise or a promotion, say, I'm essential. I'm an essential
employee. Don't make me go get the Boba Fett helmet, you motherfuckers.
You can get these PayPal $19.99 plus shipping to Hacker Hameen. About 10 hours to make. Real nice.
Can't breathe in this thing.
crews
What was that?
going around the city at 24 hours a day. How exactly is that supposed to help my company absorb Wayne's?
Is that Paul Heyman?
No, you stay here. I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
No.
A small fortune.
This gives you power over me?
What is
You're
Wait a
my-
minute. This isn't the Manhunt video game, Sal. Jeez,
I
man.
know.
Look at you.
You look like freaking the giant machine.
No, we
The giant machine, yeah. So what do you guys think when it comes to this? Because that's the big question now. Everyone's been crippled for a week to 10 days who aren't essential workers. Some people can work from home, but everyone's really just got their thumb up their ass till the corporate masters hand down what we're going to do. We've heard back to normal by Easter, jumpstart the economy. But you're talking about people who live check to check, and now you're 3 weeks behind in a crippling society. Small businesses to families to welfare queens need a way to get things going again, because there's no way they can pay the car insurance next quarter, no way they can pay the car this month or the rent possibly without that, coming in and waiting for it till possibly May. Heard $1,200, I've heard $2,000, heard digital wallet, I've heard, checks mailed. I mean, I don't know what the deal is here, man.
Well, somebody said in the chat room that Trump is actually mailing postcards to people on how to handle the coronavirus.
Well, that's a good,
Like
yeah.
you were here, and it's like him in the bunker or something. Just to give you an add on to that, the digital system, the digital delivery system. Talk about a rib. I was supposed to be on a call for my Morgan Stanley account because I was interested to see what they were going to do moving forward.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of OCD like that anyway. The entire system went down. Like I tried to access my account to see if my affiliate money was going to get transferred over, which was due today, and I couldn't get on. And I text my cousin who works at Morgan Stanley. He goes, the entire system's down right now. It came back up, but what if somebody in a certain time zone is trying to go, they're all going to Walmart or whatever to try to food shop with this UBI card, and the system can't handle it, much like healthcare.org when people signed up for health insurance. It broke the system.
Well, I mean, it's a
wonderful
website.
system.
It's $1 billion website. Should have run flawlessly.
Who's in the background with all that noise?
That's not me.
That's you, motherfucker.
That's your kids.
Me?
No one else.
Yeah, it's your kids.
No. You guys can hear my kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a condenser microphone.
Oh shit! My bad.
I
That's
don't
not
have
what I hear.
He's
I
a,
hear something else. I
who
hear
the
someone-
fuck's kids
It's
are
probably
those?
fucking Logan in the background.
Dude, don't hurt the kids. They're worth $500 a pop.
Yeah,
Stop
right.
it.
They've never been a
we gotta
great
pay them
ass.
back.
Those kids are worth more than all of us put together.
Yeah.
I heard a couple of things.
Who told you that?
That guy over there. I heard that one, if you make there's a threshold. If you make a certain amount of money per year
Yeah.
and you're married or whatever, you got to pay back the money they give you.
Huh?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if you're making, let's say, over 70 grand a year, and all the money they give you because of this coronavirus, you got to pay it back. And if you're making
Well, fuck those guys.
I'm just saying. And then, well, I also heard, actually not heard, but this is legit. I know somebody who has the coronavirus. They went to the hospital. They sent them back home with the freaking with an asthma pump. With
Well,
a gimmick.
okay, so
Well,
we got that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead, baby.
I was gonna say, they send them back home with the gimmick, with the inhaler. They said if it gets worse, come in. We'll give you a respirator. But they wouldn't test them. They wouldn't test them because they said we're only testing the extreme cases. I don't know, it's because of its limited supplies that they have or whatever the case may be, but which goes to show you that the numbers that they're forecasting or presenting on the news is fictional. Because if 10 people go in and only 2 people get tested, they're counting the 2, they're not counting the 10. So you could say that this virus is a lot more than what we're being told.
Exactly. And
So-
I think they're purposely keeping the numbers down. I can't get a test even though I've asked for one for 2 weeks. I've had a fever. I've been coughing. If I'm not extreme, they're not going to test
And cut her off.
Get her off the feed.
Oh, 6 times 7 divided by 2 is what?
Don't
she's
do
fucked.
this
She's
to me.
out- she's fucked.
I've got to be right.
Not the virus.
That's it. She failed the test. That was it.
Yep,
That's it.
First
dying.
thing.
Over here, I'm dying. Here, like our numbers of confirmed cases.
You just failed the English test right there. That was fucking piss poor.
It literally like they've tripled in like just the last few days, and it's it's just been insane.
Australia is like on a 7-second delay, like real time. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty
like
much.
You have like real TV. Everything that you're saying now, we went through 2 weeks ago. It's weird.
Right. Well, so for every, it's like their dollars. So for every one we have, it's like worth 5 or 6 Australians.
I want to ask about the financial thing because Lisa, you work at a bank or for a banking institution. I was watching videos today saying that first of all they pumped I don't know how many trillions of dollars into like the stimulus into the economy since this started. I think it's 4 trillion so far. But they're going to over the next, and Papadon, you speak on this too, if you heard about it, the next 14 days, they are going to give $1 trillion overnight loan per night for the next. So $14 trillion on top of the stimulus, on top of what they've already pumped into it, $14 trillion to prop up a system that's already a kick the can down the road. It's gonna burst sometime system. So we're essentially putting the whole entire national debt into the economy and printing that money in the course of a month. It took us almost 100 years to build up.
If it takes if it takes that long to do that and break it, how bad is it going to be next time once that runs out and how things look now compared to when we fall on our face from that? Go ahead, Lisa.
No, it is. It's just, it's fake money. And I mean, it's monopoly money. That's all it is. We're just digging a deeper hole, and it scares me to think what's going to happen down the road.
How many handfuls did you grab from work?
Yeah.
You don't have to say it out loud. Just give me the wink.
Big stacks.
Give me the wink and that's funny, Sal.
You can go on Lisa Torch's Patreon and see her posing with stacks of money in bikini and guns if you want to. $55 tape trader master. That's it.
Oh, look.
That's the super bro tier.
It's super bro tier.
I was going to say too that the reason the people are talking about inflation in the chat room and popping on. You and Lisa know more about finances, but the way it was explained by Dylan Radigan on a show, he doesn't like the system. The system's propped up completely wrong. It should be overhauled. This should be the time to retool the economy and the financial system, but it won't cause inflation because there's no rapid growth to it since everything is pretty much shut down. Is that true? Like people are worried about hyperinflation, like in the 70s, what they had.
Yeah, when the gas pump lines and all that shit, right?
Fundamentally, yes. But let's look at fundamentals here. They injected $2 trillion in the stock market originally, and what happened? The market still tanked. Normally, when they inject relief in the stock market, it skyrockets, right? So sometimes the fundamentals, idealistically, they're supposed to work in a certain direction, but they don't normally go that way in this direction because we've never faced anything like this before. My theory is that they're doing this on purpose because obviously the more debt that we're in, the more money they make. And I'm talking about the Fed. And for you people who don't know out there, the Federal Reserve, they're not part of the U.S. government. They're a privately owned bank that print our money and lend us our own money with interest. And all the taxes that we pay here in the States, usually I would say 98.9%, maybe even 99% of it goes to, maybe even 100% of it goes to pay the interest on those loans, on the printing of the money. None of our money is ever used for what we need to get done, and it's ridiculous. But Stevie, I think you are correct. Yes.
So the thing with that though is that I'm convinced now the 4D chess part of it. And anybody can speak on this, the 4D chess part of it, the hope that they're really using the virus or using things to round up the pedos and everybody who you know, it seems like all the celebrities and people in power are getting this, including Prince Charles today tested positive for the coronavirus. But it's going to fail anyway. Is this like a controlled burn to make it fail on their terms? If Trump is doing a 4D chess move to put it back to a treasury-based, gold-based back economy, gold back.
But they bet on failures, right? They bet on.
I know I glitched out in the Matrix for a second.
They bet on the failure, right? That's pretty much what all the subprime mortgages and all that shit were, of them betting against that they were going to fail. So they take their own little policies out on that. So they're going to set it up to make money off of it. You know, the only way the 4D chess to dethrone them is literal assassination at this point. But more and more people this week I saw were sharing the Bill Gates stuff. And where he tried to paint it one way, it's coming up to blow up in their laps another way. And he's starting to look like a complete psychopath, because they're even trickling out the transhumanism where he's saying we need to fight it with vaccines. And in the vaccine, there'll be smart vaccines with some nanobot technology. You know, so people are already wise to what they're really trying to do and push that Event 201 right down the list. And then the other part of that is the big brawl for it all is after they get this 5G gimmick installed fully under this, is who's going to control the GPS, who's going to control the tracking system, and that's Microsoft or Amazon. So the corporate masters are at each other's throats right now to get that kind of shit done. And just the fact alone of like, that they had all this shit set up and ready to go further stooges off that this is a far bigger agenda and has been in play far longer than whenever we got quarantined.
Listen, we do some Kazi math here. When we look at a situation, 9/11, for example, right? And we see all these red flags, and it kind of points to the narrative that we all collectively agree on, which is what we were told was a lie. The narrative presented to us was not the truth because of AB3, XYZ, right? This long game 4D chess, QAnon angle, storyline nonsense, unfortunately, they're starting to line up to show that this may be the truth. 60 priests allegedly dead in the Vatican.
Nice.
All these celebrities getting the viruses, all these head of states getting the viruses, certain celebrities like Tom Hanks getting locked down and being quote unquote arrested, allegedly Oprah's house being ransacked, all these CEOs in the last 6 months from Fortune 500 companies stepping down one by one without a reason, without a clue, no reason why, or saying what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, and they limit the gatherings, right? Can't be more than 10 people, can't be more than 50 people in some states. Whatever the case may be, you can't go outside. You know, you can't say his name 3 times or he'll appear in the mirror. Whatever rules they freaking tell us. But yet Congress, where there's 100 people, they're gathering together every day.
Yeah.
So how does that work? You understand what I'm saying?
They're social distancing. If you watch, they have empty seats in between them, so they're okay. They're fine. It's okay.
It's okay because you know what? That's the new Congress, not the old Congress. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
That's the over Congress, Shug. That's not your Congress.
Oh, that's all right. The work
Lisa's gonna bump into Dixie one day. And Dixie will bring it up.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know if this 4D thing is real. I hope it is. I really do. But fact of the matter is that stuff is lining up and it can't be a coincidence. I don't want to believe it because we've been fooled and dragged through the mud way too long with this QAnon bullshit, but it might be real.
But then you see him in these press conferences where it's a poignant thing to talk to people, and he's like, now tell me, do you think the mean old press who hates me so much will ever get back in here to sit in the front row and they can say mean things to me and hate me and they hate me so much? Do you think we'll ever get back to that normalcy? Like he does all this weird shit on the front end. Like, what the fuck, Twitter?
There's 2 Donald Trumps, dude. I am convinced. Right. Call me crazy. There's 2 Donald Trumps.
I don't feel like when I watch him that I'm watching a worker who's doing a fucking character that I can see.
Oh, I am. Oh, brother. I'm now here again. I don't agree with everything he does. I've watched every stupid thing when I get home from work. I am forced to watch every stupid thing he says and does. And I look and I go, oh, this is when he gets cooperation. Watch him. He's super soft and cuddly, and he'll hook everybody up with answers.
Yeah.
And he tells everybody, he's like, I want everybody here and give me answers. And you're like, okay, cool. He's not, when somebody fucking bristles his shit, then Worker comes out. And Worker comes out and does the little, go fuck yourself, Chinese flu, go fuck yourself. And he doesn't care what he says. He's there to anger everybody.
But that's a bad worker, right? Like, who would come into the locker room and like expose themselves that way and like to be a douche to try and get something else over?
Man. They don't see the layers, man. Right. They see one face, turn it around, and that's all he sees. Especially because he's been to WrestleMania. He gets it. Mm-hmm. He only sees the one side. Flip it over. I'll give him Evil Donald today. Yeah. Aside from that, to go in and see that, he plays nice. He plays nice as long as they'll play nice. And he actually even started talking the other day when he got on a rant. And I feel like they give him a little bit of an overlay script, and they're like, "Hey, listen, today let's not go off the fucking rails. What do you say?" And he's like, "No, we're good." And he goes and he starts strong. Oh, he starts strong, and then he starts trailing off. And somebody, and here's the thing: it's always somebody from like a college paper who is like, let me ask you, is your tyranny going to end anytime soon? And he's like, my tyranny. And then he starts going off the rails to try to hamper that down. And he can't. He just starts, because then he starts getting into Worker Donald, where he's like, I was going to build a bigger press area for you people, but you don't. Then he starts going into that. And you're like, wait, what? You got 20 feet between each person. You got 6 guys in the room. What are you doing? He just can't. He cannot distinguish that because it's ego.
Did you see Biden get his nuts smashed by the news anchor, where he coughs into his hand and then the guy corrects him? He says, "Sir, aren't you? You're supposed to cough into your elbow." And Biden's like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm fine. I'm home all by myself anyway right now." Like Biden set up the lighting, Biden set up the camera and all this shit. Like he's by himself. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these idiots?
Didn't 6 women just accuse him of touching?
No, not 6, 7.
7.
Yeah. 6 is the
7-minute abs. 7-minute abs.
Like, you can't do 7-minute abs. It makes no sense. You can't do abs in 6 minutes. You need 7 minutes. I feel like they're gonna have Biden, and then they're gonna pull a switch at the end and be like, he's incompetent. Here, let's switch him out for X, and then
Hillary.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Brent,
I was gonna say you got to watch the interviews he's done. If they're not making him look that way and just setting him up.
What the fuck? Tremendous.
That's right.
What's my name?
Is that a Swedish Arab?
Which wife was that?
226. She just moved up from 230.
Oh man. So on the financial part of it too, see the follow the money deal. Poppin' On sent something that somebody put up, kind of a long post, but puts it all together that if you do look at China, look at China and the order of events and where we're at and where they're at right now, there's a lot of stuff can be said that they've really crippled our economy and are winning the trade war right now. I mean, the 5G thing, the Wuhan thing, the thing you were piecing together in that post that you sent me, what?
Wuhan! Gotcha. You got that big cough shit that make you break your neck? Wuhan! Got you all in check.
I'm unfamiliar with all this.
That's Buster Rhymes, brother. Wuhan.
True indeed.
Well, listen, Stevie, do you want me to read the post that I sent you guys, or you want to read it?
Yeah, it's pretty long, but it really does put everything together, and it puts
that's what she said.
China. Well, she's here.
Boom, boom.
So that's ready. Go ahead.
Yeah. You want to read it? Go ahead. Or you want me to read it?
No, I read the poem. You read this.
Just don't let Ben read it.
Can I have some milk? Bring me some milk.
The meatloaf!
No milk left in New York.
All right. The Great Chinese Stage. Number 1, create a virus and the antidote. Number 2, spread the virus. Number 3, a demonstration of efficiency, building hospitals in a few days. After all, you are already prepared with the projects, ordering the equipment, hiring the labor, the water, the sewage network, the prefabricated building materials, stocked up in an impressive volume. Number 4, cause chaos in the world, starting with Europe. Number 5, quickly plaster the economy of dozens of countries. Number 6, stop production lines in factories in other countries. Number 7, cause stock markets to fall and buy companies back at a bargain price. Number 8, quickly control the epidemic in your country. After all, you were already prepared. Number 9, lower the price of commodities, including the price of oil you buy on a large scale. Number 10, get back to producing quickly while the world is at a standstill. But what you negotiate cheaply in the crisis and sell more expensive what is lacking in countries that have paralyzed their industries. After all, you read more Confucius than Karl Marx. P.S. Before laughing, read the book by Chinese colonels Kuai Ling and Wang Changsu from 1999 called Unrestricted Warfare, China's Master Plan to Destroy America. It's on Amazon. Then we can talk. It's all there. Worth pondering. Just think about this. How come Russia and North Korea are totally free of COVID-19? Because they are staunch allies of China. Not a single case reported in these two countries. On the other hand, South Korea, UK, Italy, Spain, and Asia are severely hit. How come Wuhan, keep you all in check, is suddenly free from the deadly virus? China will say that their drastic initial measures they took was very stern, and Wuhan was locked down to contain the spread to other areas. I am sure they are using the antidote of the virus. Why Beijing was not hit? Why only Wuhan? Kind of interesting to ponder upon, right? Well, Wuhan is open for business now. America and all the above mentioned countries are devastated financially. Soon, American economy will collapse as planned by China. China knows it cannot defeat America militarily, as U.S. is at present the most powerful country in the world. So use the virus to cripple the economy and paralyze the nation and its defense capabilities. I'm sure Nancy Pelosi got a part in this to topple Trump. Lately, President Trump was always telling of how great the American economy was improving in all fronts. The only way to destroy his vision of making America great again is to create an economic havoc. Nancy Pelosi was unable to bring him down through impeachment. So work along with China to destroy Trump by releasing a virus. Wuhan's epidemic was a showcase. At the peak of the virus epidemic, China's president Xi Jinping just wore a simple RM1 face mask to visit those affected areas. As president, he should be covered from head to toe, but it was not the case. He was already injected to resist any harm from the virus. That means a cure was already in place before the virus was released. Some may ask, Bill Gates already predicted the outbreak in 2015, so the Chinese agenda cannot be true. The answer is yes. Bill Gates did predict, but the prediction is based on a genuine virus outbreak. Now China is also telling that the virus was predicted well in advance, so that its agenda would play along well to match the prediction. China's vision is to control the world economy by buying up stocks now from countries facing the brink of severe economic collapse. Later, China will announce that their medical researchers have found a cure to destroy the virus. Now, China have other countries' stocks in their arsenal, and these countries will soon be a slave to their master. China. Just think about it. Doctor Who declared this virus was also silenced by the Chinese authorities. Dun dun dun.
True story.
Woo-ha. Dude, it's all right there in that book, right? To lay it out. On Amazon, probably also on Alibaba. Probably get it for half price.
Check your wang, guys.
Yeah.
Check your wang.
These are the same people that instilled one child for their own nation for 30, 40 years, that had their doctors take fetuses out of women and throw them into, dump sites. Like you'd throw away your garbage, man. And there's documentaries on it. You think they won't pull some shit to get it over? If they waited 40 years and would do that on your own people, what do you think they won't do to the rest of the world when they can collapse an economy, come in, buy it up because they've already got all our gold standard? All we can do is switch and move to an electronic digital standard. And, we're probably way smarter at electronics than the Chinese are. That's why we produce all the electronics here in America. They could never hack us and get by us. Those stupid Chinese who don't know shit about electronics.
They're 59 weeks of school compared to our 12.
Yeah. So it's all there of when you want to put it together. Billy Ray Valentine is in the chat at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horseman.
Oh shit! No.
He says North Korea does have cases, and there's over 600 in China or in Russia right now. I saw Putin did put on a press conference today. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Everyone's going to want to play and get their piece of this world payoff of whatever it's going to be. And play their part into it. That does lace everybody into a nice boogeyman scenario. What's it like in Australia where you're not really like against everybody? Like, fuck the Middle East, fuck the UK, fuck China, but we need your oil, we're addicted to your technology, and whatever else. Like, when you're affected and you don't have the anger responses, I've seen you guys get that in a very sped up manner where we've talked about this, where we were fed and conditioned along the way. You guys got kind of a Hiroshima bomb of like PC culture, marketing, and fucking disinformation all in a 2-year span where we got it built over a decade. Go ahead.
Well, that's the thing. It's all of us are still trying to catch up, because we have been sort of dormant for so long that all of a sudden we're copying all this stuff that's happening overseas, whether it's social media, whether it's the news, or all this kind of, ridiculous shit. And we're literally like arguing amongst each other because one person's right and the other person's wrong, or vice versa. And with all this stuff going on with the coronavirus, like, there's also been racial tensions arise against the Chinese in Australia as well. And Australia's got their own problems with racism, but this is just like, it's kind of skyrocketed as it is, because we do have a very large Chinese population in Australia. And, so it's like, it's increased racial tensions. You can tell a lot of people, they don't even want to sort of be anywhere sort of near a Chinese person. But the other thing is too, because way Australia's attitudes are, or some Australians' attitudes are, a lot of people aren't heeding the warnings, and they just think it's all bullshit, and they just sort of kick back and just say, nah, to be right, mate. Nah, we'll just kick back. We'll crack open another beer. But it's, the thing is, a lot of people, they don't want to take the time to actually realize what's actually going on, because it's kind of like too much like hard work for them. So within Australia, like, we're kind of all over the place when it comes to this kind of thing. It doesn't have to be the coronavirus, just conspiracies in general. And Australians, like most Australians, probably think it's all bullshit. But the thing is that, we are still trying to catch up. A lot of people are arguing and losing friendships and relationships just over something so tiny that they're arguing.
You're describing America right around 2016, right? 2015, 2016 social media. So when you say catch up, that means To me, that's a scary thing. Let me catch up to the divisiveness and being a fucking hateful motherfucker and let them drum the last little bit of humanity out of me. That's what catching up really means.
Do you think it's just that George Soros doesn't believe Australia exists?
It does not.
Could be.
All right, quick. No thinking about this one. Judy, PJ, a Goose. Who's your favorite?
Can you say that again properly? I couldn't understand you, mate. Your Australian accent's
you
no good.
motherfucker. How dare you? How fucking dare you? PJ, Goose, or Judy, man? Come on. BMX Bandits. Do it.
I'll go Goose.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's continue.
Goose or Maverick? Goose or Maverick?
Just sort of go back to that video that I sent you guys, like, because when you were talking about how the
he has
Chinese.
No time for your shenanigans, sir.
No, I guess not.
He knows soldier.
He knows soldier shit.
He does.
Fuck you and your Top Gun reference.
They're gonna get Top Gun next year. It's gonna hit. It's gonna come.
He hasn't seen the movie yet.
Yeah, first one.
But because there was one part of that video where you see a Chinese lady sneezing into a tissue, and there was a guy sitting on a park bench, and as soon as she sneezes on that tissue, she rubs it on the park bench.
Okay, quick. I don't know if anybody else remembers, and I did try looking for this again before the show. Somebody reminded me, and I do remember seeing it. There was a viral video of, at the time, this was beginning of this year, where there were two Asians, and I'm not trying to profile or anything else. There were two Asians in, I want to say New York, and one in San Francisco that were hugging people. And they were saying, just hug we love you. Can I have a hug? And they were hugging people. And it was a really moving video, and everybody was like, I love this. And then somebody brought it up, and they were like, oh, hey, remember those Asians hugging? And it just caught me because I remember seeing it and not thinking anything of it. I never in any way thought Asians were spreading a virus or anything like that. I still kind of don't for the viral video that it was.
Truly a viral video.
Truly.
Right. Yeah, really. So, but that's a situation where I was like, wait a minute, I do remember those. Could that have been a thing?
That'd have been a thing.
And there's one side of me that's like, that's a really far stretch. But then the other side of me is like, I've heard less crazy shit.
Well, if you have
like it really,
if you have the opportunity, I would stay away from Prince Charles and Prince Andrew.
Well, we were supposed to hang out this weekend, but fuck that guy.
And get Prince Albert piercings together. But thankfully, it's spread to the royal family. Now, let's hope that it really is critical to their inbred bloodlines.
You know who's safe, though? We were confirmed today as of 6, I guess it was 6:45 today. The Queen is safe. Oh. She's 100% safe.
For now.
I thought you were going to say, what's his name? CTE's kicking my ass right now. Oh, man.
The one that was Epstein, Prince Andrew or whatever?
No.
Oh, that'd be a good one, too. He's probably got a bunch of other shit already, though.
I thought you were going to say Chris Envy's safe because the germs can't travel so low down there.
Yeah, the coronavirus hangs in the air for at least 5-6 hours.
Yeah. Oh God,
Chris
does that
Envy
keep changing?
Yeah, it was 3, and then it'll last on cardboard for 24.
Oh my God!
Wasn't it 3 days before?
It needs to be, but for Envy, he's got to watch out for when it mutates and turns into the coronavirus. That'll kill him.
Hey,
shit
nice,
now.
well played.
Shit
So here, this is what I don't get. Okay, now the theories about this.
For those who don't know, Chris Envy almost broke his neck doing a hurricane. He shouldn't have been in the match. Go ahead.
I want to text him that so bad.
He's probably listening, crying into his little freaking safe space pillow.
Stevie, I want you to wait. Hang on 1 second, Stevie. I want you to stand up, put your arms out to your sides, and touch your nose.
I want number 2 isn't open. I'm trying to take a break with just some water. These truly hard lemonades are
you
pretty good.
You're drinking a White Claw, right?
No, truly hard lemonade.
Same thing.
It's like a girl drink, bro.
Hey, listen,
no offense,
like
girl.
Listen, White Claw is
Lisa,
actually delicious, dude. So don't knock the White Claw.
It's actually good.
It's got 5% alcohol. This is the biggest. Listen, I believe in getting the biggest bang for your buck. Okay, if it's gonna.
So 5%. Okay, fair enough. All right.
I'm just gonna go do some kettlebell swings. I'll be back.
Now that you're drunk and stupid, you'll end up throwing that thing through the wall.
I know what I'm doing. You're not my mom.
Brent Logan's back on. For all you heavyweights, Brent Logan's back on Tinder. He wants the most bang for his buck too. So make sure you hit him up.
All right. So what I was saying is the theories about what's going on in the world today spread just as fast as this virus, right? But the problem, and not the problem, the ironic thing is the two main theories are on two different ends of the spectrum. We have that 4D chess theory where we're looking to topple all the pedos and the cabal and the elite and all this. And then we have the other theory to offset it, where it's China against the U.S. trying to topple the U.S. economy and take over the world. The problem is there's no gray area. And that's what I think the reality lies. You know what I'm saying? Because no one's looking over here. Either
Bill Gates and all those CEOs and Bill Gates have to be in that gray area.
Probably. I'm not doubting
the way that they're capitalizing on it, from the testing to the 5G to who knows whatever else that we saw. What was it, $40 trillion missing, much like right before 9/11 with $2.3 trillion with Rumsfeld day before. That's not in any story. Whose money is that? Where is it? What black ops slush fund did that come from? And it's got to be, if you're talking 40 trillion, the Chinese got to be in on that. That's the real, like, let's light the fucking fuse and drop this off, because somebody seemed like they were promised something and 40 trillion became a quick, oh no, you pick up the tab at this dinner. At this time, I got it last time. I'll get it next time. Oh yeah, well, nice. I'll fucking release a bioweapon and wipe your people out. $40 trillion. That's the gray area, and who's operating in there in between those two? Where is the heads of Harvard? That would expose some CIA black op.
He got arrested.
No, I think I want to talk about who's the 6 deans that approved that guy coming in, and how are they connected to the CIA? Like that's all the same shit that made the Unabomber. Like, hey, it's all those.
What about
the
connections of Epstein with Harvard and all the Ivy League college with the whole science and DNA stuff?
Why aren't they understood?
The crowd went wild. Thank you, folks.
Wow, yeah, seriously.
Refers to Stephen Hawking as a mud puddle, and he said he went to Epstein's Island too.
Who?
Why was that?
I said that.
I said Ben lovingly calls Stephen Hawking a mud puddle.
Yeah.
He says, or is that Sal?
No, that was me.
It might be like 5 or that might be like 6 or 7 of my friends.
Mud puddle in a chair.
A bunch of assholes.
Yeah, mud puddle in a chair.
Could be anybody.
Lisa, what do you call Stephen Hawking?
I don't know.
What's your pet name for Stephen Hawking?
I don't have a pet name for him. I just call him Stephen Hawking.
Wheels.
Wheels.
Call him Hot Wheels.
That's an old X-Men movie reference. Didn't you guys get that?
Oh my gosh. The way I rolled my chair across you when you
spit
on me, spit in my mouth, Lisa. Lisa, make sure you spit in my mouth.
There's Keanu.
He's crazy.
I do have a question about money, Lisa, about cash.
Are you asking her for a loan on the air?
People
weird.
do. People. There are people that do have. They have listened to Dave Ramsey. Have listened to the emergency funds, 6 months to 12 months of cash on hand or whatever. But my big fear is the people like me and other people who have some cash on hand to keep them afloat. If the Morgan Stanley system goes down, if they can't access the UBI card, what would it look like if they just turned around and said, well, you can turn in your cash, but it's only worth like 10 cents on the new digital dollar? I mean, is that something that's realistically that could happen, that they can instantly take cash out of circulation?
Well, I mean, it kind of happened in Russia in 1997. So yeah,
really?
It could. Yeah.
What happened?
When I was working over there, I took that job with the U.S. Russia Fund with the Clinton administration. Yeah.
She's a spy.
This was $440 million of our tax money at work in post-Soviet Russia.
How much of that did you take home?
Not a whole lot.
Kayfabe. I got you.
$1
We're good.
million.
The week after I started, the ruble crashed, and their money was literally worthless. They, we had to carry American dollars over with us every time we went. So I would have 10 grand in cash in my suitcase, praying to God that I wouldn't have it confiscated.
Lisa Torch a spy like a motherfucker, dog.
All right.
They'll give me
Was that next to the Beatle tapes and the blue jeans?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, Yankee Beatle.
I had 10 grand on me going to Russia. I was hoping that I wouldn't be caught at the border.
Just so you know,
before you continue your story, hold on, give me a second here. I just want a little
be careful
backdrop.
what you say, Lisa.
No.
The red bands are waiting.
Now you can go.
Now I can go. Oh Lord.
Wait, hold on.
Are you recording this? You fucking.
Tell me a story.
I love it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it did happen in Russia right after they, became free, and they're still not really. I mean, the KGB still is just called Sistema now, and they rule everything. So yeah, it could happen. That's my long way of saying it could happen. I don't think we're close to that. My big question, though, on this whole thing, I have two things I want to say. First, I think the coronavirus has been here way longer than anybody thinks it's been here. I have reasons to think that. And I also, any savvy investor knows to stay in a market when there are troubling situations. So the fact that the market crashed so quickly and violently, shows me that they're just forces greater than your normal investors at work.
But do you think it was a crash, or do you think it was a correction? Aha! The plot thickens.
Well, it was just going up and up and up and up, and it was almost like this is too good to be true. And I work in a wealth management office here in Nashville, so a lot of the people I work side by side with, we're loving every second of it. But
did you see heavy hitters get out like 4 months, 6 months ahead of time? We saw Vince McMahon and a lot of top CEOs and family members dump, what was it, Stevie, 180 million in stocks over the last 8 months.
There was 2 rounds that they did it, and I think, Lisa, this is the good bridge to that, because what happened in WWE and what happened with these corporations is that with the CEOs, they would buy back the stock. They wouldn't keep a cash reserve like Dave Ramsey's telling Nancy Brown to do every week, keep a cash fund. They had no cash, so now they're getting $500 billion to $2 or $4 trillion to prop them up, hoping, like the government hopes, if we give you this, will you continue to pay these workers? My guess is they're going to turn around, big fuck you, keep the money, and lay people off, and the stock will skyrocket because of their profit loss sheet. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. The buyback of the stock, like WWE, has artificially inflated the stock, and it might be a crash, but there might be a correction mix in there.
I agree. I agree with that. I just there's just always way more to it than we're being told.
In 2008 with the subprime mess, when the banks got bailed out, right, and someone had to take a fall, and Lehman Brothers did the job, right? They got their bailout, and what happened? All the CEOs got their bonuses. Mm-hmm. All the execs and the VPs got their bonuses. Then all these banks, to the average individual, was almost next to impossible for an individual to get a mortgage or a loan, right? Because of this. So basically, all this bailout money went to the top echelon of the pyramid, and nothing trickled down like it was supposed to. Mm-hmm. So this scenario can come into fruition again with this situation. But to answer your question prior, Stevie, with the devaluation of the currency, it happened in the States before, but it wasn't with currency; it was with gold. The whole New Deal, when they told you have to turn in your gold because it was illegal, and then as soon as the government took it all in, they flipped that gold price to 8-fold or 5-fold or whatever it was, and they're sitting pretty, and they put it behind the U.S. dollar. So, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if something in the next 12 months occurs with our financial system.
See, so Lisa, when you're sitting pretty in Russia on 10 grand, is that to get poison for injection or a drink, or is that to get a gun that's been scrubbed down already to do the hits that you're sent there to do and then leave? What is that? What's your preferred method of assassination is what I'm asking.
Nothing quite so sinister. It just went to run the office there.
Just straight up
run the office.
You had
That's
Stevie's
it right there.
Did you,
Lisa, we need you to go run the office. So we need new management.
Run the office. Code for vodka and hookers.
Yeah, a lot of that did take place. And interestingly, the reason I left that job ultimately was because we started getting death threats faxed to the Moscow office.
Faxed?
Nice. Faxed.
They were just too lazy to drop them off.
Shadows, you faxed stuff over.
Yes.
So which ones did you use to garrote the usurpers? Did you use red bands, blue bands, or green
Always
bands?
the red bands. Always the red bands.
There you go. All right.
Good.
Red bands are sold out, by the way.
Suit.
Thank you, conspiracy theorists.
Yes, indeed. You know, I started doing Stevie Richards Fitness again because I'm stuck in the house, and I use the red band always.
As do I. I got all mine.
Now, is that for self, or is that because Stevie did say you're not supposed to self-use that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, just
Okay.
you know,
No,
All right,
David.
you gotta be
Just
careful.
just
David
back
Carradine
and
had the same
biceps
issue.
and
That's
day.
what we're trying to figure out.
No
what's
worries.
going on here.
Yeah.
Lisa, we're just trying to keep you
So
safe.
are you saying there's a connection between like David Carradine and the Kung Flu scenario? and
Let's
Lisa?
Kung Flu.
you guys
Exactly.
definitely make sure you share his Netflix stand-up special with all your family and friends. They can't wait to laugh.
Listen, I can't say a joke on here. You're the only one who can say jokes. You gotta give me some crap.
Apparently
You are
not.
not
Apparently you
mean.
can't.
No, I'm not. I'm dad joke GGP over here.
To go back to guns real quick.
What?
Yeah, we were talking earlier about
Time the fuck out. What?
to go back to guns. We were talking about because that's something I wanted to talk
So
about.
anyway, we want to get back to talking about Madden Ultimate Team. Let's get back to
Really? Seriously?
Well, this is something I
Wow.
didn't want to drop because when we were talking to Brent down under about weapons or what have you, but.
Did he split?
That happened when in our chat where they're trying to introduce something real quick, like as to sneak it through a new gun law as well in America for lockdown. Let me go back and read it real quick.
I sent that in the messenger earlier, right? That was crazy.
So
You got that off the Congress website, right?
yeah, it's off Congress.gov. So the first thing came through in a screenshot. It says House Bill HR 5717 will add 30% tax on all guns and 50% tax on all ammo and will require both a federal license to purchase both. This is trying to be pushed through immediately. Pass this on and vote no. Also, it says you would need a federal license to own and handle or shoot any guns you already own. Please pass this on. Everybody know sneaky they are. And I mean, that could be propaganda, obviously, in a Facebook message that's posted, but then the link came along right off congress.gov. The bill 5717 is out there, so they're going to put it in on some pork belly shit on whatever stimulus that comes through, and it'll slide through. So congress.gov 5717, Gun Violence Prevention Community Safety Act of 2020, sponsored by Representative Johnson Henry C. Hank Jr. Introduced January 30th, 2020. So before everything really kicking off here, right?
I want to hit you with this though, because on January 30th, probably the woman that was screaming, waiting for her cue at the inauguration with the glasses going, no, those types of people, the anti-Trump, anti-gun, all this stuff, they want to make sure all these provisions and these laws are passed. Dude, I'm not kidding you. 90% of them were at the gun store with me, buying a Glock, buying a 20 gauge. This whole event and this virus and this chaos will not allow that bill to pass. And if it does pass, the American public will ignore it, because we have a lot of people that probably believed in gun control before they realized, holy shit, they're not going to prosecute any petty crimes. They're not going to arrest anybody who breaks into my house. I'm buying a gun. Chicago, Philadelphia, Louisville, all around.
Philly also sent out that email.
I think that part will backfire on the government trying to take or regulate or, 30% tax on guns, 50% tax on ammo. That's fine, because you know what? Whatever discount or lower price I could have gotten isn't worth the life of my family and loved ones. Yeah, I'll pay that tax. I'll just get better at shooting a gun and make sure I don't use range ammo, obviously.
Right. Just so everybody understands this.
Ben loves that, because they were poo-pooing the fucking range ammo. We're all out of hollow points.
Anybody notice Stevie got a Glock and now he's drinking White Claws?
Oh my gosh, the world is coming to an end.
I see these are 50 cents cheaper than White Claw.
Yeah, at 2,200 feet per second, Stevie, nobody's gonna go, fuck, was that a hollow point or range ammo that hit me?
Get that fucking range ammo out of my face. Now I'm pissed.
Oh my God.
If you're gonna shoot me, bro, don't shoot me with range ammo. Hollow points, bro. Show a little respect. Yeah, man. That and this to me is like the first parts of tearing down the Constitution and what it is, right? Right to bear arms. So there goes that. They're turning in New York City parking garages into quick mobile hospitals. You guys see that where? Down the parking spaces, it's bed after bed after bed after bed after bed. Vanderbilt, they are. That's going on underneath the guise of it while they move in National Guardsmen until how long it's going door to door. Now we're talking about going back to fucking Revolutionary War where you don't have to house soldiers. How long till that's fucking gone and they go through all your shit just like they did after Katrina, right?
Again.
Yeah, go ahead.
The hurricane in New Orleans, they were knocking on people's doors and taking guns. It was martial. It was essentially, they never called it that. But we've had martial law in this country in recent history. The Boston bombers, they declared martial law and kept people in their homes it wasn't even a curfew. They had people staying in their homes, locked down, much like now, to find those bombers.
Well, that was for their benefit.
What's that?
It was for their benefit. So, of course, and that was the thing. They didn't have to say, we're doing this. They were like, this is for your benefit. And everybody went, oh, you're right. Thank you. Thank you for protecting us.
But dude, look at this. I mean, right now, the Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans was essentially martial law and a gun grab, going door to door, seizing people's guns. Well documented on mainstream media. Right now, it's medical martial law. It's a new angle on martial law. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing is, why put these? You don't have to put these little pissant kind of like little resolutions in there to kind of make gun ownership like be whatever. That's just a way to get licenses and sell things and get tax money. What they're doing is they can just flip the switch, and because people are partying at spring break on the beach, people aren't obeying. The citizens, the Nancy Browns, are doing the work for the government because they're going to say they're not listening. So now everybody sees something, say something, stewed your neighbor off. And now everybody's going to enforce the martial law without the government having to put the thumb down on it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yep.
We're there right now, by the way.
We are.
That 911 calls are up. There's people, we're getting the viral video. Somebody coughs on the plane and Nancy Brown flips the fuck out and wants them kicked off and all that kind of shit. Even the video, how about the drone the other day that was flying through the neighborhood? Keep a social distance. Stay inside your home. This is direct out of They Live and out of fucking 1984 Orwell. We say Orwellian. This is per page, like page 47 out of 1984 is when that happens and the missile strike comes right down the middle of the street.
I know I'm just keep going on with it, but how soon before that type of act of sneezing near somebody or on somebody or coughing near or on somebody becomes assault and battery, becomes a misdemeanor or a crime?
Yeah.
Or you can get sued for it.
Yeah. And we're already there. There was a guy walking around on Facebook Live in Walmart saying he had COVID-19 and he didn't care, and they arrested him and they threw him in. Which rightfully so.
Right. He was doing a social experiment, and they arrested the fucking asshole anyway.
What? Isn't there a dude who was licking?
There's also one in Australia.
Was there?
Just recently, 21-year-old thought he was joking with police in the police station. And he literally just says, I got coronavirus, and started coughing on a policeman, and they bloody arrested him.
I think the one dude in Walmart who was licking stuff just got charged with terrorist charges.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the new fucking
retarded millennial thing where you go sneezing on produce or licking bullshit. Yeah, so that's part of that whole thing because it goes viral and everybody's like, oh, that's funny. Yes, I guess it
How
is.
soon until the videos aren't called viral anymore?
Yeah.
They
they're just
eliminate that
viral.
word and they have word
Good
crime.
point.
Yep.
Videos.
Hey, what
They're
about
just
that
videos?
that video I sent you guys? One of the guy, I don't know if it was a senator from Oklahoma. I think Mike Hawes sent it to me about him saying that one of the protocols that they have in place is to do the electronical shackle with the chip in it, and they're looking to chip everybody. You guys remember that? Did you guys see that video I sent you guys? You guys didn't even look at it.
I don't think I saw
No,
that
probably
one
not.
of them.
You guys suck. Hold
When
on.
it said electronical, I was like, that's not even a real
Yeah,
fucking
I was
word.
like, no, the muffle sparked it.
How about those Chinese warships in Australia? What's
Yeah,
up with that?
they just that's what I was gonna say to take it back to you. You better have the 30-30 ready to go because you might be getting invaded by a whole sea of Bruce Lees coming at you, bro, because the Chinese warships just popped up off of Australia in waters that they're not really supposed to be in.
Really? That's the first I've heard of that. That's crazy. Well, I'll be definitely keeping an eye on that because, like, just hearing you guys talking about like how it's all happening in America, like, like to me, like you know, obviously being in Australia, like it's just I don't know, like
Wait, you're in Australia?
Yes, I am, Sal.
Oh,
And
okay, that's cool.
but like the worst that we've sort of the worst we've ever seen when it sort of comes to that thing of being having your guns and stuff is that there's just been these fat bloody people at supermarkets punching each other all over a roll of toilet paper. And
where's your key with fat people? What the fuck?
But it was there's already been people arrested because of assault and stuff like that all over toilet paper, and that's really the worst I've seen happen like in Australia at the moment. So like you said, like we're Australia's always on a delay when it comes to stuff like that. So it probably won't be long until we start seeing that kind of thing over here because it's the first I've heard about these Chinese warships coming over here.
It was just this afternoon, kind of broke the story and then popping up on radar. I'm like, what the fuck is the heat with Australia and China? Like, I know China has moved into Africa very big in the mining and they're strip mining and they're just buying up property and doing what they want to do. I think their thirst to be the world leader knows no boundary when it comes to fucking over humanity. And that retired colonel that gave those speeches, I just keep going back to that about Space Force. It wasn't about to the great beyond and the unknown explored. It was dominance over the planet to fuck over China. That was his whole MO, is the next Cold War with China. And as we sink our economy, the only way to really legalizing weed and taxing it at 200% could give everyone a living wage, absolutely. But the real way they'll prop it up is to make more weapons, sell more weapons, and knuckle up. And then we need a new enemy and they're going to want to push. It's already on the table. Same as the General Wesley Clark bit after 9/11. Well, these 7 countries are the ones we're going to war with, right? So this plan to fuck over China at any cost has been on the table for a while to get out of debt because we ran up our credit card student loan debt so far that there's no way out of it anymore, no way to the light of day. And this is the fucking weigh-in for the fight to me, I think, right? The next 20 years, this is going to be it. Does this not feel like the build-up? There is not going to be any way to repair the damage done. No iPhones or any technology is going to be able to heal this wound.
Well, it makes sense because... Oh, sorry, Stevie. You go.
No, go ahead, Ben. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, because the Chinese have been buying up like a lot of our farms in Australia for a long time. Like there was only a few years ago where the Victorian government put a stop to a sale because a Chinese company was going to buy the biggest farm in Australia. And Australia is obviously known for its farming. That's how we've actually survived for all these years. And like the Chinese have been buying up farms even in the islands just out in the South Pacific, like Vanuatu, which is a very, very tiny island, and they live in villages in Vanuatu. And Chinese have been buying property there and building supermarkets and stuff like that to a country that still lives in villages. And and like I said, they've always been buying property here in Australia, and now they're buying in the islands just outside of Australia. It wouldn't surprise me if they have something in Fiji or New Caledonia, even New Zealand, and they've got little properties or big properties over there too.
Are those real places or no?
No,
yes,
They exist.
That he was reading a Candyland board. That's fucking none of those places are real. The Gumdrop City or whatever the fuck that is. I think the biggest part of this though that we've seen this week unroll is it doesn't matter. Everybody needs their money, and where's it going to come from, and how are they going to go against McAfee and blockchain crypto and get their own shit rolling with this, so the 85% gets involved in crypto. This is where it is, where GGP's been warning us. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say, money wise, the one thing we didn't talk about with the UBI, even though it has all these limits and these obstacles and hurdles, it's not a UBI. It's a one-time payment. Can anybody stand after being off work for a month to, like Trump and all these people, whoever in government, feel like that it's going to inject money back into the economy? I don't know, but most people, that $1,200 is pretty much going to go maybe to just your rent or mortgage, maybe not even your food card payment or credit card payment. You're sure as hell not going to shop and buy stuff and consume anymore. This UBI, $250 billion is going supposedly to the people. 500 billion on top of the 2 trillion that went into the market and whatever else in the business is going into corporations, with the hope that you're going to put these people back to work that they were already week to week, maybe behind a week before this happened. So they don't even know how to be good workers, guys, with the fact of, hey, bread and circuses, let's give them their bread back, make them happy. Then they'll give up their guns. They'll be placated. They'll be good little sheep, because that card, if they're not good little sheep, you won't get your money this month. They don't even understand how to invest to have control. This is going to cause riots. This could cause militias. This could cause an uprising throughout the whole country when people say, oh, I got $1,200. Oh, I didn't get, I have $1,200 and I have to pay it back. Fuck you. You times that times 100 million people.
Yeah. How about you can't get in bigger groups to start discussing things? Can't go to Dippin' Donuts and get together.
It might turn back around to, fuck you. I believed you were going to help me out, and you're telling me this is a killer. No, I don't believe shit.
You're going to grow a resistance. Yeah, you're going to grow a resistance based off of that.
Right, and we're going to start meeting up in the barn, and we're going to start showing up after work with the boys, and that's how shit starts. That's how it started in the Revolutionary War. That's how that shit's going to go through again if they push it beyond that limit. I'm sorry. I'm just still a little shocked hearing Stevie just fucking blasted out of his head like this.
I know. He's
he's got the Glock right there, ready to shoot the fucking screen if we start getting.
I know. I feel like I have a nice like soft blanket around me right now. It's kind of good. I want to start opening up. I want to sing a song in a second.
Well, we want to thank everybody in the chat room tonight, twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. I mean, this is the brilliance. I mean, let's not undersell, obviously, all of us being together, and I just want to say thank you guys for being such loyalists to the Conspiracy Horsemen, following us from its inception. But the fact that we can, even under quarantine, lock and key, put out ideas, and in real time, even if Spectrum sucks on their internet, be connected outside of Atlanta, in Tennessee, in New York City, in Long Island, and Australia, all at the same time, to put out some sense or semblance of truth in a fear porn and fear mongering 24/7 news cycle. That's pretty fucking amazing feat of technology of the way that we can operate as human beings. I just don't want that to be lost on any of us at this time,
I just want to touch base on two things, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Number one, I found the video. I'll play it for you guys real quick. You guys can listen to it. Number two, how about all these celebrities on Twitter losing their goddamn mind, like Madonna, Juliette Lewis, Ellen. The fact that you found that picture of Tom Hanks being the same picture from a couple years ago.
Yeah, how was that? I mean, I was trying to see the Photoshop, even open up in Photoshop. I couldn't find any real layers. There's this picture of Tom Hanks that's out there. It could be a easy disinformation piece made by a conspiracy theorist, but he's got a blue shirt on, glasses, haircut, face identical. It's from 2017. The background's the same. He's supposed to be in Greece, and that one was taken in Greece. This one's in Australia while he's down there. All that's changed is the logo on the shirt. I mean, the shirt's identical blue color, identical glasses. Like, so 2 years apart, and that, which further makes me believe that not only is Australia completely bullshit and nothing but a construction of the Matrix, but now that Tom Hanks could be complete CGI as well.
Tom Hanks has put the nail in the fucking coffin.
Da Vinci Code cracked.
Here's the video I was telling you guys. Listen. Hold on.
Oh, yes. I'm not the only one. Sass Bizach.
Batchmania.
Muffled play.
Muffled play.
Oh man, someone deleted it.
Oh,
Shit.
No,
you can't play it. I hit play and it won't move. That means it's deleted.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
that's where we started. That's where we started.
D's Godfather, Nick, sent it to me.
Did he?
Our friend Nick. Yeah.
Shout out to Uncle Nick. But that's where we started
Uncle
with
Nick.
Brent Logan not being able to share videos even through Messenger. I've tried to share Where sites like watchwrestling.la and seen a kickback. But for them to flag a video and take things down and have that control over us of what's triggering that, how do they know that that is some type of poison against the narrative where it's like that? It's a lot of questions that need to be asked of the apps that we're using for the Big Brother's using right now to shut us down, and why and how are they able to do that? And
I think AI is it's so beyond our scope.
Yeah,
we've been giving it data for so many years. We've been giving Google data, Apple data, anything else, data on our, anytime we check in at a place, our patterns, it's weird. Like, remember I told you before when Curious Jay was talking about, he was talking to his kids about a leather jacket, and a leather jacket came up on Facebook as an ad. Then we went one step further and said, I was just kind of thinking about something. I think you said that too, Ben. Yep. And there's an ad, and we kind of purposely don't search for things. We kind of have I check something out, I'm thinking about it, and now, I mean, it could be a microphone from the TV. It could be something connected over your Wi-Fi network, but this frequency-based stuff is like connected to AI is a real thing.
You've already seen the toys, the Jedi toy that lets you move the thing with your mind, right? Who's to say that shit's not in the apps already, and this can't pull anything it wants through from your brain waves already, dude?
Well, because even from a couple of weeks ago, Ben, I think I tried to send this video to you. All it was this Australian guy. He did a send up of an Australian song called "I Was Only 19," and he changed it to fucking COVID-19, and it was just a send up. It was very, very funny, and like I watched it a few times, had a bit of a laugh to it. And, all good, and but the funny thing was that was very fucking random. But then I remember I sent it to you, but then all of a sudden, like just what happened to GGP, couldn't play it anymore, and all it was just a send up of people buying toilet paper, and they took it off. So
that's unreal.
See, this was the gist of the video that I wanted to play. It said that either people got their mandatory vaccines, or they would go to jail. And on top of that, after you get the vaccine, you get a metal shackle bracelet with an ID chip with all your information on it. So very similar to what Aaron Russo was saying, but instead of injected out underneath the skin, it was a wearable thing that you couldn't take off. I guess that's 1.0. Like your iPhone 1.0, and then they'll come out with 2.0 and iPhone, Shackle 3.0 or Shackle.
Oh, it'll be given away like the Google Mini Homes were being given away last week for people to be able to have as a safety device. Maybe I'm probably a couple. You know, that here it is, more invasiveness, whether it's on there or not. Watch out, you're going to get attacked from behind. Oh, sorry.
He's all good.
All right.
And just to
I thought it might have been the
a,
Chinese invading. I couldn't tell.
And just again, as far as what the popular people are pushing, the particular cable company is pushing the Arrow, which is the mesh network. That's being like heavily marketed in this area. DC, Chicago, DC, Chicago, PA, New York, and Texas. Those are being heavily pushed. The Arrow mesh Wi-Fi, 5G mesh through the entire house, covered 3,000 square feet. That was that we got a few emails just more or less just saying, make sure you push this in.
That sucks, because I just
really
had
hardcore.
I just lost my class action lawsuit on vaginal mesh, so now I'm gonna have to get in on this one too to get that removed.
Excellent.
It's not gonna be pretty. Lisa Torch, where are you gonna be killing somebody next? What country? Who you got to hit on? Where are you going? Yemen.
Black Widow.
Yemen.
I'm staying put for now.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got
Killing
the
people with drones, are you?
National Guard outside my door, so
she's highly protected asset.
highly protected. But yeah, if anybody wants to look me up, Goofy Blonde Chef. I'm making vegan recipes on YouTube now. So
are you able to do meal prep stuff to send out? Are you doing that stuff at all now with everything that's going on, or no? Probably just a
not
pain
yet.
in the neck.
No, I mean I might get there one day, but yeah. Right now.
Right on. We'll check her out if you want the best recipes while you're doing Stevie Richards Fitness. We're all home cooking. Might as well see what she's got sizzling on the stove, you guys, and much easier to look at than us, unless you're into Stevie's crystal blue eyes and veiny calf muscles. Then you can check him out on his ever rising YouTube channel, breaking 54,000 subscribers today. Congratulations, Stevie.
It's pretty cool when you stay in your lane and you play ball with the censors and you take down all the bad content. It's whatever. I listen to Sal. I stayed in my lane, and look at where we are today. It's
good man.
It's a very, very good way to be. But I said before, I would help people with any kind of in-home kind of business or productivity or creation that they want to do. So, I'm going to still upload videos and kind of post it in that Dave Ramsey type of like help radio show type stuff. I did it for that guy, Corey, who did some streaming of his live music for the first time. And he said he really enjoyed doing that. So if anybody needs help with that, I know, Ben, that you're helping quite a few people on the Russo brand with the Patreon models. And that's something we can all work together on to help these creators, maybe, or potential creators or business people, kind of get off the ground while they're isolated.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to collaborating with you on that to hopefully provide a good sound, good content as we, try and flip a dollar after losing so many shows. So there'll be more of that coming. We'll talk about that on the Friday Locker Room. Brent Logan, you probably got a new solo acoustic album with a lot of tracks where you cry openly on them. Something Disturbed. Like, where can we pick up some of your music or find your stuff going on, man?
Thanks, Ben. So it's really the same deal. I haven't done anything new musically yet, but you can check out my old stuff at Lethal Vendetta on YouTube. And Spotify, the whole works. Just look us up. That's all I've got.
Like the
That's
shit out of that one. GGP, after you take the wave cap off later tonight, I look forward to
wave cap.
Yeah.
You're
We'll let it shine through, man. NFO podcast. I saw Matt Schaffer edited the new one. What's the next one going to be about, bud?
We just basically talked about the rumor of Rosario Dawson being casted as Ahsoka Tano. And then we did our top 5 all of us picked our top 5 heels and baby faces in Star Wars.
I wonder if she's a little too far in her career to be Ahsoka Tano. I always picture Ahsoka as like 17 to 20 years old.
Well, no, but this is taking place after Return of the Jedi in the season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Okay.
So the age is just about right.
Okay.
Now, this is what I said. I like the fact they casted her. I think it's perfect casting.
Yeah, I think she'd be good.
She kind of just looks like her. But they should have Ashley Eckstein, the person who voiced her on the cartoon.
Agreed.
On the live action series to keep the continuity going, just like they did with Ray Parks and Sam Witwer. So
what about Michael Biehn? Michael Biehn hitting Mandalorian as well.
Michael Biehn? For what?
From Terminator, brother.
No, but what's he playing? Did they say?
No, he's going to be in the next season.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Well, that's news. There we go. That's news.
There you go. Right on.
Oh, and we also talked about Zombieland.
Double Tap?
No, I think it was the original one. Initially, Mark Hamill was supposed to be in it, and he was supposed to be fighting zombies with a lightsaber in the movie.
Nice.
But it ended up not happening, which is a damn shame, because that would have been awesome, because both Zombieland movies are fantastic. Two of my favorites. I saw Double Tap the other night. Fantastic. That, and I saw Jojo Rabbit.
Whatever these movies are watching, Double Tap, Flick Your Bean, all that kind of shit. You can check them. Check out the NFO podcast. They great shows.
We doing plugs now?
Yeah, Clone Wars. That's been great too. You guys are doing extra episodes that way. And people, we always put over Podbean. We use it because it plays in all your social media in your browser quick. But you can get our stuff on iTunes, whatever, Spotify, wherever you guys are liking it. Just look up New Force Order or Hacker Hameen content. It's all right there in the app, you guys.
Dude, I want to interrupt real quick because some quote just came up. Prince Philip says, in the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus in order to contribute something to solve the overpopulation. This is the father of Prince Andrew. Pretty interesting.
Really? He really said that?
Yeah, he said that years ago, though. Like, not
about
right
overpopulation.
And these are the people who are in that Bilderberg group, the Bohemian Grovers, the CF, what is it? CFO? No, the
CFR. Council on Foreign Relations. Trilateral Commission.
Yeah. You go. I always go back to So I Married an Axe Murderer.
The triumvirate.
The triumvirate. And Colonel Sanders with his wee beady eyes. But before we go tits up, Sally, you doing Breaking Sal edition, or we got another horror junkyard? I know.
You know what? I do have something. Stevie posted something to me, and it fucking set me off. So I do have. I think I have one in the chamber that if Stevie's around, we could do something.
Okay.
And we're doing horror junkyard tomorrow because again, a fellow Tennessean who is on our show apparently was cleaning up the yard and doing some plague prep. So we couldn't record on Tuesday.
Okay.
So Thursday we should be recording. We're gonna do.
How do you prep for a plague?
She's put in tiger pits.
Listen, they're from fucking Tennessee, man.
Watch it. I'm not from here.
No,
they're
she's
from Tennessee, honestly. So
Lisa Torch. I'm not from Tennessee. I just kill here.
I just murder here.
I love that. That's good.
Body count, and then there's little colon next to it. So basically, we're just doing Colorado Space, new Nick Cage movie, which is one of my favorite H.P. Lovecraft stories. The movie does not disappoint. It just brings all of the crazy Nick Cage to the forefront, which is what we want. So yes, at this point, what is this for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wipes
I was just
running,
handed
baby.
these.
Nice.
I was just handed the run-in of the staple disinfectant wipes. Okay.
Hey.
So disinfectant wipes. So there we go.
Real quick, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead, baby. Good.
We just got tweeted by Murdoch 1329
Yeah.
about 19 minutes ago, saying that somebody by the Twitter handle Really Graceful posted an article saying an unsung hero of the coronavirus crisis, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve is doing everything it can to give our economy the relief it needs. It should be applauded for its efforts. Look at that baby face shine and the rub they're trying to get in a time like this. Just adds to the work, I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You
get in that goddamn shower, hit the bar of soap, put a little water on it, and rub it all underneath your armpits, around your balls, and your fucking asshole, would you, you smelly prick? Here's a tube of toothpaste. What you do is you pour some of this out on a little toothbrush and you scrub them fucking gimmicks in your mouth. They're called teeth. Get all that yellow shit off of them. Your breath don't smell like a motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? Deodorant. It's a miracle worker. You put it under your fucking armpits. You get me? You fucking Viking? Last but not least, your old trusty hairbrush. This thing does a goddamn wonders if you got some fucking hair. I ain't got no fucking hair. Comb that fucking shit you call a wig. You understand me?
Special message for you, Brent Logan, straight from Steve Austin through the Horsemen. Nobody's got any shows because we're all canceled, infidels. You can go to prowrestlingtees.com, spend your money, and Ryan Barkin's probably over there doing, who knows how much speed just to keep up with all the AEW orders. So maybe your shirts will get you in time.
He might be taking some child's blood and some adrenochrome.
Say, man, for sure. You can go, or maybe he's going to the broasters.com and getting that Russo Bro limited edition coffee with crazy caffeine. Damn good
he's
in there.
Killing kids.
Yeah. He could be. He could be just be murdering kids. That's the way I'd go. I'd do both, actually. And thanks to our new sponsors, I want you guys to go follow them. The War On Morons Podcast. Yes, the War On Morons.podbean.com. Excellent name. It's actually Jay Ritchie, the Fed down in Florida down there, and his co-host Yanisa. So trying to do good biz, and thanks for them for sponsoring us. And thanks for the Hami and Army loyalist, Lisa's Torch, and Brent Logan, Theory Girl. Glad to have you back here tonight. And buddy, don't cry in your beer too much while you're cutting those new tracks. And everybody here at twitch.tv/Conspiracy Horsemen. We'll be back in the morning, Stevie and I, with your Friday locker room, and then Silvio, MSG, and I with the AEW review. So take care of each other, cough into your arm, you scumbags, and wash our ass. The Conspiracy Horsemen command it before the Chinese invade. YOLO!